Going to cover is we're going to talk about how to get started with algorithmic trading. We're going to talk a little bit about the topic. I'm going to show you guys some nice demos, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this presentation. So here is our agenda for today. All right, so first we're going to go over basically get to know you guys a little bit, who's on the call. We'll go through a couple questions there. We'll do a quick introduction of Lumi Wealth and kind of what we do. We'll talk about algorithmic trading in general as a theory and like why we want to do this stuff. Then we'll talk about, then I'll show you guys a demo of some of our bots in action, right? This is, we're past market hours, so I'm going to show you some bots we ran a couple months ago. And then we'll talk about the full course. If you guys are interested in taking our classes with us, we'll talk about what that looks like and how you guys can get involved, all right? So to start, let's get to know you guys a little bit, right? So this way I could tailor the presentation a little bit more towards you. If you could tell me in the chat here, which you guys should be able to access, these three questions, if you could answer them, right? So I'm going to take these, I'm going to put them into the chat just so you have them handy. I'm going to copy this over. There you go. All right, so basically, if you could just answer three questions by typing this out. First question is, what is your occupation? Then do you know how to program or code? Have you ever coded before in your life? Or are you an experienced programmer or not? And how much investment experience do you have in years? All right, so I'll start. I'll talk it out. You guys can type it out because I know you guys don't have a microphone set up here. All right, so we got a couple minutes. So my occupation, I'm a CEO of Lumi Wealth. So it's my job to make sure that you guys have a really great experience with our classes and with our technology, right? I've been working in software for quite some time, right? Do I know how to program or code? Yes, I do. I've been coding since I was about 12 years old. It's been a very long time that I've been coding. And worked in the industry. I've worked in Wall Street and all those types of things. And then lastly, how much investment experience do you have? I have quite a bit. I started a little bit before 2008, so maybe in like 2006. Allowed me to see some pretty crazy things going through all that. So definitely got some good experience there. So let me read off what you guys have put in here. We got a bunch here. So Jason says occupation accountant. Awesome. That makes a lot of sense for you to join in with what we're doing right now. Kingsley says he's an Uber driver. Great. Thanks for letting us know. Ricardo says logistics. Don't know how to program and about 3 years of investing experience. Okay, cool. Thanks, Ricardo. Raul says bond trader, knows how to code. Awesome. Very cool. So we're getting a nice mix here of people that do know how to code and don't know how to code. Just to let you know that our classes are mostly built for really kind of a general audience. So if you know how to code, you'll get a lot out of it. If you don't know how to code, we still teach you how to do that stuff from scratch. So you, in either case, if you do or you don't, they're both good places to start from. And then we have Michael Dodd here saying occupation is a software developer. Very cool. A seasoned software developer. Very cool. And then investment experience about a year, cumulative year. Sounds great, Michael. You could probably build some very, very cool stuff using your background. It was awesome. Welcome on board. Frank is saying he's a contractor. Yes. And I know because you're in some of our classes too, so it's very cool. And 7 months of investing experience. Very cool. Jason says beginner coding in Python. Very cool. Kingsley says Uber driver, no coding, idea, minimum experience. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Kingsley. And Jason says mostly passive investing. Michael Dodd says thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Michael. Cool. So it sounds like we have a nice mix here. So as I was saying, if you go through our courses, if you do have some programming experience, I think you'd really, really do a great job. The people that have taken our courses that do have the programming experience have built some amazing stuff right now. I could tell you a little bit about them if you'd like, or you can even watch them in some of our testimonials if you want to see that. But you don't need to have any programming experience to take our courses. We will teach you how to do that stuff from the very beginning. And to be quite honest with you, building this stuff isn't that entirely difficult given some of the technology that we have. We've tried to make this as easy as possible for you guys. Tim says, works solar cell solar battery in Florida from Mexico City. Took a Python boot camp over a year ago, still getting up to speed on the Python front. Was a Series 7 and 63 year early 20s. Got more into trading really since 2015 in crypto, stock, and options. Recently helped Sophie and Kabar review his 4th book and came across him promoting you on his Medium. Looking to automate my trading really. That's very cool. Awesome. Yeah, we do sponsor Sophie, and he's a great guy. Actually, he has a lot of really cool articles on the topic. So I'm glad that you found us through him. I'm definitely a fan of his as well. Very cool, and pretty cool that he helped review his 4th book as well. That's awesome. I actually haven't read his books yet, and I'd really love to get around to that. So welcome, Tim. And Manny says, I'm from Chicago, senior director at United Healthcare, hands-on codes with end-to-end software lifecycle. Very cool. Awesome. So it sounds like you have a lot of experience in this space as well. Well, you're welcome, Tim. Cool. Awesome. So now that we've got to know you guys, feel free to keep writing if you haven't had a chance to write in yet. But I'm going to move on to our introduction and kind of jump into things a little bit here. All right. All right, so you've told me about yourself. Let me tell you a little bit more about myself. So like I said, I've been coding pretty much my whole life. I was like 12 years old when I learned how to code. I'm nowhere near that age anymore, unfortunately, but definitely got a lot of experience along the way. I went to business school, then got my master's in finance. So definitely have been doing this finance stuff for quite some time. Right. Worked with Bloomberg terminals when I was an undergrad. Actually worked in like an office there, teaching people how to use Bloomberg terminals. So definitely been doing this stuff for quite a while. College was a long time ago for me. After finishing grad school, I went off and started a business with some friends. We sold it. Can't disclose the amount, but I can tell you it definitely made me pretty happy. Took a little break. And basically traveled around a little bit, moved to New York City, and went to go work at some Wall Street firms. So I worked at a company called Greystone. We were doing building technology for mortgages. Basically, we were able to the team that I basically helped put together and manage. We built a product that probably has done somewhere around $100 billion in mortgage origination, so not too shabby in terms of numbers there. After that company, I went off to go work at a company called Voyager. You guys may have heard of it. It's been in the news lately because of not so good things. But when I joined the company, it was maybe about 4 people there as one of the early stage employees. Built this thing basically from the ground up. We didn't really have anything when I joined there. When I left the company, we were public. And we had a very cool product out and all that kind of stuff. The company continued to grow. It became worth, at one point, it was worth almost $2 or $3 billion, which is very cool to have started a company like that. Although some of the stuff that they got involved in kind of brought that valuation back down. So it is what it is. But I definitely still made some very good money off my stock options. So I'm happy. So it's a little bit about myself. Now what I've been working on is, of course, Lumi Wealth. I'm the CEO of this company. I also teach this class, the Algorithmic Trading class. So what is Lumi Wealth about? Lumi Wealth, we are a company that believes in the future of technology as to be used in investing. Right. So basically, I used to work on Wall Street. I saw some billionaires really make some incredible sums of money and get very good investment returns, things that most people would really not be able to get. Kind of frustrated me, to be honest with you, that these people were able to get such good investment returns and normal people were not. So we're really working on bridging that gap, right? We're trying to bring products that are usually reserved for very wealthy people over to the masses, right? And I think the best way to do that, and probably actually the only way to do that, is using technology. So we're building some very cool technology around how to help people invest better, how to help people make better investment returns. That's what we're all about. We currently do that through teaching. We have several classes all around this whole topic, but we also are working on technology ourselves that allows people to do this stuff even without learning how to code or anything like that. So we're going to be releasing some technology around that sometime soon as well. All right. So that's myself, and that's Lumi Wealth. We also have a YouTube channel. Let me share this with you guys. I'm going to put this link into the chat. Right here is our YouTube channel. You'd also just search for us on YouTube, search for Lumi Wealth. I'll bring us to his page. We have a lot of really good stuff on here. All of these free classes that we do are in here. So if you go through, you can see all of our different free classes for all the different topics that we teach, right? We have some strategy demos. So you can see some of our strategies live in action. I'm going to show you a couple of those today as well. We also have interviews with different people in the community. For example, with John Ewing, these guys manage $600 million in Toronto. It was a very interesting conversation. We have Cliff, who's also another really big investor in the real estate space. I think he had a $200 million fund, a real estate investment trust to be more specific. We have a bunch of other really good stuff in here. We also have our testimonials with some of our past students. If you're interested, you can see that, and a bunch of other things that we keep adding on a regular basis. Lots of really good free content that you guys can go through. So if you go here, make sure that you subscribe and then you hit the bell button. That way you guys are able to actually get the latest stuff when they come out, right? You get that notification, and you'll know when we get when we release a lot of that new free information, all right? So that's our YouTube channel. I'd highly recommend that you guys subscribe to that. We also have our Discord channel. I'm going to share this link as well inside the chat. Our Discord is, for those of you who don't know, Discord is basically like a chat. It's kind of like Slack, if you guys have ever used that. There's a lot of our existing students in here. There's a lot of our past students. There's a lot of people that are interested in this topic. So really, really good way to get to know people in this space and see what is possible, right? So I'd highly recommend that you guys join our Discord and get to know some of our community as well, right? Cool, so that's our Discord. And then also I just have a note here saying, please make sure you ask questions throughout the presentation. Don't feel like you need to leave them until the end. It's much more interesting when this is an interactive presentation. You ask questions throughout, and you know, I can basically answer those questions. You don't have to wait until the end, right? It's much more fun when this is interactive, right? Okay, cool. So that's our introduction. So let's jump into why algorithmic trading, right? Let's talk about the reasoning behind this, right? So we could talk about, or actually first, before we get into why, let's talk about what it is, right? So algorithmic trading is basically using software to analyze data and automatically place trades, right? And I'll put that word in here, automatically, right? Automatically make trades. It could either provide trade alerts, or it could actually execute trades for you. We consider both algorithmic trading, although most people opt for the algorithm placing the trades for them rather than just getting the knowledge out, but it could do both, right? So, you know, we could talk about why algorithmic trading is very useful. I mean, there's everything from it's able to trade when you are not there, which means that you can go off and spend some time on the beach, or, you know, go eat dinner, or whatever you want to do that you love in your life. And while this thing is sitting making money for you, instead of you sitting in front of a computer all day, stressing out and trying to place trades, it can do that for you, right? So it saves you a lot of work in that sense. It's also able to do things in very superhuman kind of ways. Like, for example, it never sleeps, right? So if you are, you know, trading Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that, a lot of stuff happens overnight. Or if you're trading futures, or if you're trading Forex or anything else like that, a lot of these markets, they trade 24 hours or maybe 24/5 or 24 in the case of futures, 24/7 in the case of crypto. But in either case, you're going to be holding things overnight, which can be dangerous, right? So, for example, if you were paying attention to the crypto markets when the Russian invasion happened, really was not a good time for crypto. I think Bitcoin swung something like 25% down, which was nuts, right? Huge drop in value, and then really picked back up again. You may have not noticed that, so you were probably asleep, given the fact that you're in America, right? Especially if you're on the East Coast. But if you had a bot running, you would have been able to see that, and you could have taken advantage of that, right? The bot could have seen that things are rapidly dropping, could have exited your positions, protected you a little bit, and then when things swung back up again, could have jumped back in, or vice versa, right? So it could have done a lot of things for you overnight, right? So these things they don't sleep, they're able to take your work off your plate. They're also much faster than a human being could possibly trade. I think I'm going to show you an example of that, but you could be in and out of trades extremely fast. You could be reading news at superhuman speeds. For example, if you set up a trading robot, and actually some of our students have done this and made a lot of money doing this, that you could be monitoring a lot of different influencers, right? So for example, if Elon Musk tweets about Dogecoin, it tends to shoot through the roof, right? If you were one of the first people that paid attention to that, you would have made quite a bit of money, right? He tweets about Dogecoin, it shoots up 100%. You could have been in and out of that trade very quickly without even lifting a finger, to be honest with you. But that's, a lot of influencers could do that sort of thing as well. Donald Trump, when Truth Social came out, that, or I think that was the name of the stock, but when it came out, shot up 250% in like a day. Again, if you were paying attention to his Twitter account, you could have made a lot of money off that, just paying attention to what's happening. So in either way, you could have a bot that's monitoring every influencer in the world, everyone from Kim Kardashian to Elon Musk, both ends of the spectrum there, and you could be making very good money while you're even asleep, right? So lots of good reasons to do algorithmic trading. There's more than that, right? But instead of me going on about Tim says here, Digital World Acquisition Corp. Oh yeah, that's what it's called, DWAC. Cool. Thanks for sharing that, Tim. Awesome. But yeah, so we could talk about all the different benefits of it, right? But there's actually a lot of okay, so there's a question here from Michael. I'm just going to read this off. So I have a Raspberry Pi 2 and 3 sitting in front of me. When we get to it, I'm curious if the CPU RAM resources will be sufficient to run these trading bots, if a certain version of Python is required, etc. So Michael, I think probably Raspberry Pi 3 would probably be good enough. Even the 2. These trading algorithms really, they don't take up a lot of they're not really major hogs of memory or of CPU resources. So you could probably run them on those things. Although it kind of depends on the algorithm, right? Like if you're running an algorithm that's using machine learning, you're probably going to need a faster computer than a Raspberry Pi. But for a normal trading algorithm, I would think that those things could probably do pretty well, right? Because these algorithms, they don't take up too many resources, but it depends on what you're doing, right? It depends on if you have something that's reading all of Twitter and analyzing all those things, you might need a faster computer. But if you're doing something very simple like technical analysis, you probably don't need something so fast, right? So it depends. And hopefully that answers your question. And then certain version of Python, we use Python 3.8 and up, right? So anything over 3.8 should be good, right? Cool. All right. So we can talk about algorithmic trading and all the benefits of it, right? And there's a lot of them, right? It doesn't sleep. It's faster than humans. It's not emotional, right? So you don't fall into the trap of, you're trading and you kind of get nervous and you start making stupid mistakes. Computers don't do any of that stuff. They work a lot faster and emotionless and don't sleep and, basically all the good stuff, right? But we could talk about all that stuff, but I think it's better to show you guys just a few examples of companies that have used these things to make a ton of money, right? So some examples of these companies, these hedge funds that have been very successful doing algorithmic trading. Some of the most successful hedge funds in the world are quantitative in nature, meaning that they use algorithms and software to trade. One of those, for example, is Renaissance Technologies, arguably one of the most successful hedge funds in all of history. You know what I mean? This makes Warren Buffett's investing, puts them to shame. The last time I checked, they have about $110 billion of assets. They make about a 39% average annual return. Keep in mind, that's average. That is not what they make every year. For example, in last year, I believe they made like 150% or something like that. And then, there's other years where they don't do as well. But I can tell you that over their this is about over a 30-year period, I think maybe even longer than 30 years, maybe it's even 40 years at this point. They have only lost money in about 1/4 ever, which is crazy considering that that 30 to 40 year span, that includes the crash in the tech bubble when it crashed. That includes 2008. That includes the pandemic. That includes, taper tantrum. That includes all these crazy points in time where the stocks fell. These guys were still making money, which is pretty crazy, right? As a comparison, Warren Buffett does about 20% a year, right? If you guys want to see like the difference, right? We're making double that, right? But for those of you that don't know too much about financing and about compound interest, let me tell you how significant that is, right? Because a lot of people look at this number and they say, oh yeah, well, crypto is up 1,000%. Well, first of all, it's up 1,000%, but look at what's happened to it now, right? Those who have made 1,000%, I really wonder if they're still doing so well. But second of all, that's not something that happens very often. That's usually something that people get lucky. You get 1 year like that. These guys are consistently making this type of money year in, year out without taking stupid risks. Those people that make 1,000% 1 year, chances are they lose their house the next year because they're doing very stupid things with that money. It's to make 1,000% without taking crazy leverage is very, very difficult. Not impossible, very difficult. So these guys are able to consistently do this, right? 39% a year, year in, year out for 30 to 40 years straight, right? So to put that into perspective, right, and how compound interest works, if you're investing in the stock market, which does about 10% a year, right, depending on what time period, 10 to 12%, something like that, but let's say 10. Okay, if you took $1,000 and you put into the stock market and just waited for 30 years, you would have ended up with $17,000, $17,449 to be exact, right? Which is pretty good, right? It's more than 17 times your money. That's why people tell you, put your money into the stock market. It's a good idea, right? However, if you were invested in Renaissance at 39% a year, you would not have 4 times that money. It's not 4 times 40% versus or 39% versus 10. It's not 4 times more money at the end of the day. It's 4 times more money every single year, which compounds over time, right? So for example, year 1, this one has 1,100, this one has 1,400. Year 2, you get, 10% of $1,100 is, another $110 that you'd make, right? And so on and so forth, and it compounds. Whereas this would be, about 1,400 the next year, and then 40% of 1,400, and it just keeps growing and growing until it really takes off like a rocket ship. So $1,000 in the stock market turns into $17,000 after 30 years. $1,000 in Renaissance would have turned into $19.5 million. Very significant difference. It is the difference between you retiring with some money and the difference between you retiring and owning an island somewhere in Fiji or something like that. You know what I mean? Or more than that, actually. You could, if you're able to pull this off, put in, $10 or $20 or $50,000 to begin with, and grew that over 30 years, you would be unbelievably rich, which is exactly what happened to the people that ran this company. There's a very good book on this. I'm going to share the link with you guys here. And by the way, no problem, Michael. I asked you guys to type while I'm presenting, so I'm glad to answer your questions. Cool. All right, so this is a really interesting book about the guy that created Renaissance Technology. His name is Jim Simmons. He is a billionaire several times over. He's one of the richest people on earth now because of what he did. Very, very interesting book. It's basically his biography. Talks about how he was a math, I think, professor or something like that, really good with math, and had the idea to create mathematics to trade the stock market, using computers to trade the stock market. Now, this is back in like the 80s, right? When computers were brand new and really weren't that powerful. You know, if you're trying to do things with it, you're using DOS or something. It's really quite difficult to make algorithms back then. It's gotten a lot easier. Believe me on that one. It is much, much easier now to build algorithms than it was back then. But even these guys with very limited resources back 30 to 40 years ago, they were able to create some very cool stuff. The first year took them, you know, if you read the book, it's really interesting. The first year, they didn't really do much. They were struggling to make money, whatever. But somewhere in their second year, they found their stride, started making some really crazy returns, made so much money, got the attention of a lot of people, got a lot of investors putting their money into there. These guys are making such incredible amounts of money. They might as well have had a printing press in their house, to be honest with you. If they had, actually, no, if they had the mint in their house, they probably wouldn't have made as much money as they did with this hedge fund. It's wild. These guys, even like not the CEO, even just like the low level employees, were making so much money that they were buying like mansions and forgetting about them. There's like some pretty crazy stories in there, how like the government was coming after one of the guys, said they built a house in an illegal spot, and he's like, what are you talking about? I don't even own a house there. And ends up he does, right? It was like a $20 million house that he just completely forgot about. Anyways, very interesting book. I'd highly recommend you guys read this if you're interested in these topics. Very cool story about how far you can get building these types of algorithms. Very, very successful. Some of the richest people on earth came from this company, right? But they're not the only ones, right? They're not the only company that did that. And by the way, Renaissance, they only trade using algorithms. No human being touches that button. It is only algorithms that are placing these trades, right? It's only computers automatically coming up with ideas and trading and, you know, profiting off of that, right? So again, they're not the only ones, right? So Renaissance did that. Then also there's Two Sigma, another company that is also very, very successful. These guys consistently beat the stock market to a very large degree. Last time I checked, they're managing about $60 billion in assets, and that's, I'm sure, grown quite a bit since I checked last. They've been doing very well. I actually got to know some people at Two Sigma, very smart people there, and really making a lot of money. It's crazy. I think the average employee at like these companies, Two Sigma or Renaissance, I think it's like over $1 million a year is average salary for like entry level, right? It's crazy how much money these guys make because, you know, the whole company makes a ton of money. So Two Sigma is another one. Citadel is another one. These guys are huge. I think they're one of the biggest asset managers on the planet. They have a hedge fund that last time I checked had $32 billion in assets, but they also do a lot more than that. They do market making. They're actually the guys behind Robinhood, right? So if you ever place a trade through Robinhood, it gets routed to Citadel servers, and they're the one that's actually filling your trade, right? So they're making money off of every trade that you place on Robinhood. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but they are automatically getting fees off of every transaction going through Robinhood. We could get into that if you guys like, but definitely are extremely profitable as a company, and their CEO is, again, also one of the richest people on earth. At Citadel, there's also Bridgewater, right? Bridgewater is another really interesting one. You may have heard of Ray Dalio. He's been in the news a lot lately. He released 2 books. One of them, The Changing World Order, and another one, Principles. They're both very, very good books. Strongly recommend they read those as well if you haven't. But Ray, he built a hedge fund. Last time I checked, is about $140 billion in assets. I'm sure it's a lot more than that now, especially given his world tours that he's been doing. But these guys use a lot of technology as well. So they use a lot of this tech to basically be able to automate. I don't think they use the robots to actually trade for them, but they use a lot of data science to actually figure out what they should be buying, what they should not be buying. So they have an incredibly large amount of data, and use a lot of very skilled data scientists to help them figure out how to use that data to make money. Right. So that's Bridgewater. And then there's last but not least, there's a lot more companies in this that are quant hedge funds. I'm just naming some of the bigger ones. But this one's another really interesting one, D.E. Shaw. There's a famous person that used to work here, and let me know if you guys know who that is without Googling. It's a pretty easy thing to Google. But someone used to work at D.E. Shaw that I'm sure you guys are very familiar with and has been very successful. PhD of Merch at UC Berkeley. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Ali Reza. Cool. Right. So let me share who used to work at D.E. Shaw. So very famous guy, and actually one of the richest people on earth, actually was the richest person on earth at one point in time, is Jeff Bezos. So Jeff, the story goes, if you ever heard, if you ever watched anything about him and his biography and all that, he used to work on Wall Street, right? When he first got started, he went to a very good school, graduated, and got a job on Wall Street at this firm at D.E. Shaw. Worked there, got paid quite a bit of money for being there, I'm sure. And basically, D.E. Shaw is, again, another quant hedge fund. They use a lot of data to figure out what they should be investing in and have these things place trades for them. And when Jeff was there, he had access to a lot of data and learned how to code and all that sort of stuff. And basically was able to figure out that the internet was growing at this crazy fast rate. When he bought when he was there, I think the internet was growing at like 3,000% a year or something crazy like that. And he was just thinking, well, if the internet's growing that quickly, then maybe I can get involved in this. So when he came up with the idea for Amazon, told his boss at D.E. Shaw, I quit because I want to start my own company. He tried to keep him on board, but couldn't. And then obviously the rest is history. He created Amazon. It's became one of the richest people on earth. Right. So when you get involved in this kind of stuff, when you get involved in algorithmic trading, you are definitely in good company. There's been a lot of very successful and very rich people that have come from this space. Everything from literally the richest man in the world that used to work in this space to people that are on the top 10 list, like the people that run Renaissance and Bridgewater. Very, very successful people. So you're in very good company when you're learning algorithmic trading. All right. Cool. So we got another thing here. So Eric says, estate maintenance, no experience, 3 years of crypto. Very cool. Awesome. Thanks, Eric. And again, these classes, when you go through them, you'll see some code. You do not have to be, you don't have to know how to code when you take these classes. We will teach you from scratch. We try to make this as easy as possible for you guys to create these algorithms and make money off them. All right. So let me show you a demo here. And let me know if you can hear the sound when I do play this. But this is going to be a demo of some of our algorithms. You'll be able to see them in action and hopefully inspire you to build some pretty cool stuff yourselves. All right, so here, let me play this and let me know if you guys can hear the sound. If you can't hear it, then I might have to adjust some things, but let me know if you can hear the sound when I play this. All right. Cool, okay. So let's get into the demo, all right? So this is, I'm gonna show you a couple of different trading strategies that we show you, first of all, in the courses, and that you can employ yourself. It's pretty easy for you to get these up and running. I've had people that have never coded a day in their lives and have these strategies running within just a few weeks. Even if you don't know how to code, don't feel like you have to shy away from this, whatever. I'm going to be showing you a bunch of code here, but really it's not that difficult to learn. We've been able to teach a lot of people that have never coded before in their lives, right? Okay, so here, let's show you a demo of some of our different trading strategies. Okay. So there's a couple I want to show you today. We have some new ones, like I was saying. Okay. So I want to show you, first of all, our fast trading strategy, just because a lot of people, whenever they think algo trading, they want to be able to trade really quickly, get in and out of things very fast, and analyze a lot of things. So what I'm doing here is I'm running this fast trading strategy. You see here, we go into our broker. it was nothing, and now it bought a whole bunch of stuff automatically by itself. Okay? And let me describe to you essentially what this strategy is doing. Okay, here is the code. The code is fairly straightforward. It's not that long, right? So it looks like 160 lines of code, but a lot of it is boilerplate stuff, and a lot of it is like kind of just tracking things and whatnot. It's very easy for you guys to get something like this up and running. Essentially, what it does is it looks at these symbols here, right? SPY, gold, TLT, Microsoft, Tesla, etc. Right? We're looking at all those symbols and basically saying which one has done the best over the past 1 minute, right? And whichever one did the best, has had a momentum, the best momentum, it keeps the top 4, okay? And it'll keep swapping them out. So if we watch this here, we see the top 4 we have right now is TLT, XPXS, XPXL, and MCHI. Those are best over 1 minute. You see that just swapped. We just bought some gold. So it sold TLT and it bought gold. Okay? And if we leave this running, you'll see basically you'll do this all day long, right? You don't have to be in front of your computer. You could have this thing running in the cloud. You can have this thing running off your computer. And it'll just keep trading for you all day long, right? Now, this is a strategy that, follows momentum, but you could just as easily do a lot of other things with this, right? You could use technical analysis for this, right? I know a lot of people like looking at charts and support resistance, that sort of thing. You could use that, right? You could use things like RSI or pivot points or VWAP, right? You could use all those types of things to influence which stocks you want to own and have like a, we have our top 10 stocks, and based on our criteria, we keep the top 4, and you can trade throughout the day doing that sort of thing. So this is very flexible. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this. And this is just a demo to kind of show you, this fast trading, how it moves in and out. If we give it another minute, it should actually flip things around. We'll give it, so it executes once every minute. If we give it a little bit more time, it'll swap things out. Oh, there you go. Okay, it just did that. So it sold the gold. Remember, you guys saw the gold. It sold that, and it sold our MCHI. So we sold 2 of those things, and it bought SPY and it bought Microsoft, right? And that's because those have been the ones that are doing the best over the past minute, and just kind of hold on to them, right? So it's just a simple momentum strategy. But like I said, there's a lot of other things that you can convert this into. Use any kind of technical analysis you want, or any kind of criteria that you want to do this for trading, right? This is something I'll be like throughout the day, intraday, quickly getting in and out of things, right? All right, okay, so that's our fast trading strategy. Let's show you our technical analysis strategy, right? Because this one is, we could basically take what we did in the last one, okay, and we can do the same thing, or we could use essentially, what we did in the last one. We could apply this sort of stuff for technical analysis type of stuff, right? So what this one does is sorry, there's a question here on chat. I want to do trading. Day trading will help me with that. Yes, absolutely, will help you with day trading. Yeah. So the last strategy that I just showed you, the fast trading, is very well suited for day trading, right? So what you would do is you would take something like that and combine it with maybe a technical. It depends on how you trade, right? If you trade, support resistance, if you trade using VWAP, if you trade using some sort of technical analysis, RSIs or Bollinger Bands or whatever, we could implement all that kind of stuff, right? So here is a technical analysis strategy. This one trades a little slower, but you can mix the two together, right? You can make it so that the last one that we had takes the top 4 stocks, right? And this one, what it does is it trades based off of RSI, right? So it looks at the RSI of SPY, right? And if RSI falls below 33, okay, so it's looking at the RSI for SPY, and it has 2 stocks that it trades, okay? It has SPY and TLT, okay? It has the 2 of them, okay? And they're normally 60-40, which is kind of like what investment advisors recommend, 60% stocks, 40% bonds, right? But when the RSI gets too high on SPY, which means kind of like it's overbought, right, is what we call it with RSI terms. When it's overbought, then we say, okay, let's get out of SPY and only buy TLT. So we sell our SPY, go 100% to TLT. And then the opposite situation, when SPY falls too much and RSI is low, then we will sell all of our TLT and only buy SPY, right? So it's changing weightings in our stocks based off of this criteria of a technical analysis, right? Technical indicator. Okay. So if we see it trading right now, you'll see it bought 60-40 SPY. So 60% of money of 50,000 is put into SPY automatically, right? And TLT, the other 20,000, right? The other 40%. Okay. If this is a time when SPY was too high, it would automatically sell SPY and get into TLT. Or if opposite happened, if SPY fell a lot, it will do the flip as well. You could do this much faster. You could do this with many stocks throughout the day. And you can use a lot of other types of technical analysis as well. So we use this library, right? You could use Bollinger Bands, right? You could use, you know, some of these things I don't even know what they are. Average true range, you could use that. Bollinger Bands, you could use moving averages, crossing, you could use MACD, all sorts of different things that you could use to trade with. RSI, stochastic RSI, right? Lots and lots of different things that you can use to trade. And you can trade throughout the day, buying and selling things automatically based on your criteria, right? You don't have to be at your computer. You don't have to be paying attention to it. You can set up stop losses automatically, all that kind of stuff you can get through the bot, right? Okay, so that's our technical analysis strategy, right? Okay. I'm going to show you some cool new ones that we just made, right? So this is one that I think will probably resonate with a lot of you guys. This is a really fun one that we actually just created, and I'm actually in the process of testing exactly how well it does, but it is definitely a very interesting strategy. Let me see, not the right. Okay, we're going to get out of this. So this is a strategy that we call Reddit sentiment. Okay, you get access to this strategy if you join our classes. You get access to this strategy within our classes, right? We'll give this to you. You can use this. You can modify this. It's part of our library of different algorithms, right? Okay, so let me run this one here, okay? And let me explain to you kind of what it's doing, all right? So this strategy, what it does is it goes to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wall Street Bets. I feel like this has blown up in popularity recently. And of course, you guys, if you guys follow this sort of thing or know about this sort of thing, it's been influencing a lot of stocks lately, right? The increases in GameStop was because of this channel on Reddit. Basically, I think it's now, when I last checked, there's 1 million, but someone told me there's 4 million people on here. Everyone's discussing stocks, talking about, you know, what to buy, what to sell, that sort of thing. And it actually has quite a bit of predictive power where, you know, GameStop shot up a lot because of what happened on Wall Street Bets. There's some people that got it going and basically went through the roof, right? GameStop, AMC was another one that's like a big, we call it meme stock or Wall Street Bet stock. There's a few other ones that are happening more recently, like Wish, and a few other ones that maybe you guys have missed out on. But if you had this bot that we built out here, you won't have to, right? So what it does is it automatically downloads the hot topics within Wall Street Bets, right? Downloads, you could specify exactly how much you want to download, right? And then it looks over all of those topics, reads all the comments, and uses some artificial intelligence, uses a bit of machine learning type stuff to figure out which stocks have the best sentiment, okay? And sentiment being whether people are saying they like them or not, right? I hate Wish, or I love Wish, or I think Wish is going to the moon, right? It's going to read all those comments and tell you which stocks are, first of all, talked about the most and which ones have the best sentiment. So we see here, Apple, for example, does not have a very good sentiment. It's widely talked about. People don't seem to like it on Wall Street Bets right now. Ones that they do like is this one here, 0.43 Wish. This one's been a hot topic for a while. If you look at the stock charts, by the way, it's gone up a lot. It's doubled over the past week or two, right? So that sentiment is high up there. We have GOEV. I don't even know what that is. This is talking about, people are talking about this on Wall Street Bets. But in either case, what it did is automatically read all that kind of stuff and then bought the top ones for you, right? So let's take a look here. Boom. These are all the top stocks on Wall Street Bets, right? It will automatically hold on to these and read actually these comments throughout the day and throughout the weeks. You can have this running on a server, running on a computer. It will automatically buy, in this case, the top 4 stocks that are talked about on Wall Street Bets. Not only the ones that are the most popular, but also the ones that people have the best sentiment for. That people say they really like. Look at that. We just bought them, and all of a sudden our money is already starting to go up. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting strategy. We're going to be actually testing this over the next little bit, and I'm thinking about putting some of our own funds money into this as well. Right, so look at that. We've literally just bought it, and look at what happened to our stock price. Like it's literally within a minute, it's shooting up like crazy, right? And what this strategy will do is it'll just keep reading this all day long, right? And see, has it changed, right? If sentiments have changed, it will get rid of it, right? Or if sentiments have gone up for one, it will buy it, right? So it'll automatically be doing this stuff all day long, right? Definitely really cool. It's amazing how fast this is going up. So we have a question here. I have no coding experience. Will this program sync it to my trading platform and auto execute the trades? It depends what trading platform you use, right? So if you have no coding experience, I wouldn't be too worried about it. We have a lot of people in our classes with no coding experience, and they've all been able to get bots up and running. So I wouldn't be too surprised about that. I wouldn't be too worried about that, right? Whether it links with your trading platform, it depends on what trading platform you're using, right? We have 2 brokers that we work with right off the bat. Yeah, so we use Alpaca, we use Interactive Brokers, and we're going to be adding in TradeStation soon. That's the next one that we're adding in. So if you use TradeStation, we'll probably have this built in within the next like 2 months, right? So we are definitely going to be adding that in soon, right? For Thinkorswim, they don't have API access. They have API access to something called TD Ameritrade. They don't give you access to the Thinkorswim platform. It's kind of a little weird there. So we recommend actually if you want to do like algo trading, TD Ameritrade is really not the best, right? They don't allow you to do paper trading, that sort of thing. And to be honest, it's really easy to switch brokers, right? Like to open up an account with Alpaca, like honestly, I think you can do this within 5 minutes, right? It's really easy to do that. So we work with them. We work with the Interactive Brokers. We're going to be adding in TradeStation very soon, and then we're going to keep adding in more and more as we go. So you definitely have a lot of options there. This is amazing. Look at this. We literally just bought this, and we're already making like a bunch of money. The stock chart just shooting straight up. Yeah, changing brokers. Yeah, I agree with you. Right, changing brokers is not very difficult. It's really easy to do that. I really like TradeStation. They have great APIs, so we're going to be working with them soon. They also have crypto. They have futures. They have a lot of other stuff. So TradeStation's a really good one that we're going to be adding in. Amazing, guys. I got to start running my own money in this strategy. We literally just built this like 2 days ago, so we're still testing it out. But it's amazing. Look at this. Literally in the course of this conversation, we've already made what, like $300 or something like that. It's just in the course of our talking right now. Cool strategy, right? So that's our Reddit trading strategy. If you have no coding experience, really not that hard for you guys to get this up and running. It's part of our code library, so you can actually start off with this. You can modify it however you want. You don't have to be an expert programmer to do this stuff, guys. You don't have to be some like whiz kid, because we give you a lot of these templates that you can start off with. All right. Okay, cool. So that's a Reddit sentiment. I'm going to show you one more. That one actually is really cool. I gotta run that one. I'm going to do that after this. We're going to run in the cloud and have it go for a few days, test it out for a couple of days, because that's pretty impressive how well it did that quickly. Like I said, we just built this one like 2 days ago. Another one I want to show you guys, and this is one that we actually just put a bunch of our money into. I really like this strategy, and I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why through a back test, okay? So we teach you not only how to build the bots, we also teach you how to do the research behind it, as to, you know, how are you going to be picking a strategy? Is this a good strategy for you to do or not, right? How do you find these strategies? And this is one way they can figure out whether a strategy is good for you or not, okay? What I'm doing right now is I'm running a back test, okay? So it's a back test for a strategy that we call diversified leverage, okay? And basically what we're doing is we're going from 2012, right? We're doing this because some of these ticker symbols didn't exist until 2012. From 2012 until 2021, so 9 years, okay? And we're seeing how would our strategy have done over the past 9 years? What kind of results would we have gotten, right? So the strategy in particular, the one that we're doing, is called this diversified leverage strategy, okay? And basically what it is this is like modern portfolio theory, right? If you talk to someone like a Ray Dalio, or you talk to like some of the most prominent investors in the world, they all tell you diversify well. And the reason why you diversify well is because you want to make sure that you reduce your risk. And if you reduce your risk, you can take on more, you can actually take on more risk and make more money, right? Essentially. So what this is we have a bunch of different ticker symbols we're in here. We're in the leveraged NASDAQ, so TQQQ, right? So it's the triple NASDAQ, right? So 3x the returns of the NASDAQ. If you look at the stock chart on this thing, it's wild. It's like up 1,600% in 2 years or something like that. It's crazy, right? But of course, also has its risks. There's a downside as well, right? So we want to protect against that. So we have 20% of our money into that, 10% of our money into UPRO, which is the leveraged S&P 500, 3x leveraged. Then we have 10% of our money into UDOW, which is a leveraged Dow Jones. Then we have 10% of our money in emerging markets, right? Leveraged emerging markets, right? 35% of our money in leveraged treasury bonds. So now we diversify, right? So we have in total 50% of our money in stocks, right? In leveraged stocks, right? And diversified around the world a little bit, right? And then we have the rest of our money in something to counterbalance that, right? To reduce our risks, to give us some good hedging and to improve our returns without taking on too much risk, right? So we do that by having leveraged treasury bonds. Usually when stocks fall, treasuries go up and vice versa. So they're a really good hedge to have in a portfolio. We also have Barclays VIX, right? This is an interesting one. Basically, you lose money regularly, but when things fall apart, if like the stock market crashes, it'll go like up 5x. You make 500% of your money in like a day, right? And that's a really good hedge because if things fall, you want to be able to protect yourself, right? And we also have 5% of our money in gold. So this is one that actually I've put some of our money into, right? Not all, but some good chunk of our money into the strategy. And I'll tell you why, right? When we look at the back test, what we can see here is, look at this. So this strategy, okay, over that same time period, right? Over this 2012 to 2021, that 9 years there. So January 1st, 2012 to January 1st, 2021, right? So 9 years, yeah. Over that time period, the S&P 500 was up 17.5%, which is nice, right? If you were in this strategy, you would have made 28.9%. You would have almost doubled the stock market's returns, okay? Which is amazing, right? Like obviously that's, if you guys do the math behind this, this is the difference between when you retire, you could retire with $1 million versus 10 million, right? That's like the difference, right? Like it's a very, very large difference when you have double the stock market's returns. Huge payouts. This could be worth $9 million to you in the future. You know what I mean, this kind of differential, right? But okay, so it's great to have a higher returns. That's awesome, right? But we're not just talking about higher returns here. We're talking about higher returns while taking on the same amount or less risk. Okay, so over that same time period, so we doubled the stock market's returns, but we also had only a little bit of increase in our volatility. It's not too much more volatile, meaning this up and down thing. And our max drawdown is almost exactly the same, right? So meaning from the peak to the bottom, right? This is in last year, right? March, 2020, stock market fell 30%. From the very top to the very bottom, it fell 33%, okay? If you were invested in this strategy, you would have also only lost about 33% at the same time period. So we have the same risk as the stock market, but we're making double the returns. That to me sounds incredibly impressive, right? Which is why we're putting some of our money into this, right? We diversify among different strategies. We don't put everything into one, but this was one when we're looking at 30% of your returns, sounds very appealing to me. Okay, so this one went ahead. When we go in here, you could see it automatically bought all these things for us, right? All the different ones. This would be a pain, by the way, to do on your own. And the key is that it doesn't just buy these, it rebalances. And that's the key here, right? Because you'll have days that, for example, TQQQ will shoot up, in a week's time, will shoot up 100%, just like that. When it shoots up 100%, you want to rebalance your portfolio and put money somewhere else. And that's how you actually get the safety along with the very good gains, right? It's intelligent portfolio construction, and that's how you end up making all the money. That's why having like a robot, they'll automatically look at the stuff and rebalance for you is really important, because that's how you're actually going to end up with these returns. You can't just go and buy them and that's it, right? You actually have to be rebalancing and trading them on a regular basis, right? So I very much like this strategy as well. We have our own money, like I said, in this as well. And so far been doing, we've been making good money. So I'm happy with it so far. All right, cool. All right, so that's a couple of our strategies. We showed you everything from our day trading, to trading off of Reddit, to, building intelligent portfolios. I have a few more that I can show you guys. We have a whole library, like I said, there's tons of different things. We have things where we trade off of like macroeconomic things where we use like the debt where the Fed Reserve that they take on debt. We trade off of that. We're building out a bunch of options trading strategies as well, which we're going to have a separate webinar to kind of explain a bunch of that stuff where, you know, you can trade volatility and all that sort of thing. We have lots and lots of different strategies, and we just keep growing more and more of them. So if you guys join our courses, not only are we going to teach you how to do this stuff, we're going to give you access to that big library. So you'll be able to either use it right out of the box, or, you know, modify it to do whatever you want it to do. You'll have access to that sort of stuff. All right. Cool. So that's the demo.
Okay, cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Right, we've been chatting back and forth here as well, and definitely some very good chats. So if you guys are interested in building this stuff for options, we do have the options trading class I shared in there as well. I'm just going to read through a few more of your comments I didn't get a chance to answer yet. This class, so this algorithmic trading class we're going over right now is mostly for stocks, although we cover a little bit of crypto as well in it, but mostly it's meant for stocks. We also have a class for crypto, and we also have a class for options. If you do want to take that options class, I suggest they take this class first, unless you are a fairly strong programmer, because building options, algorithms for options definitely is more complex than building it for stocks. So if you don't have any programming experience, that might be a lot to bite off at first. But if you take this class for starters, then it'll be a lot easier for you to build algorithms for options afterwards. Right. So that's one thing I got to comment there. But the way I see it, these are depending on the price action, which feeds these indicators. So Manny says, maybe I'm not as good as you in saying that, but the way I see that, they are depending on the price action, which feeds these indicators. Yeah. So Manny, so you're saying that these indicators are delayed. I guess you could in some ways say they're delayed because it's past data, but there's no such thing as an indicator that predicts the future or is from the future like that. So by that token, everything is delayed. There's no such thing as ever having any kind of data in any shape or form that is from the future, right? So it's all delayed. But that's kind of the whole point here. We're building these algorithms to try to predict the future, right? It's our job to be able to make a prediction and to position ourselves correctly to make money off that prediction, right? So that's really what algorithms are all about. And there's many different kinds of algorithms, right? It's not just working off RSI or MACD, even though that's what I think 90% of people that jump into this course think that it is. There's a lot of other types of algorithms they could make money off of. And hopefully you kind of got a sense of that from that demo. Frank asks, is this class being recorded so can watch what we missed later? Yes, it is being recorded, and we will be sending out the recording through emails and a few other means pretty soon. You can also find it on our YouTube channel. So lots of ways for you to get that recording afterwards. So make sure you check out that YouTube channel. I showed you, search for Lumi Wealth on YouTube. Manny says, I'm into the options class. You think I can start to me self-paced and upgrade later? If I don't think self-paced is not for me, I may need much more support. So Manny, for the options class, we currently only have self-directed available, right? If you need some extra help, you can also pay for extra development hours and things like that. Although you will definitely get some support as well when you go through the self-directed. It's not like you don't have support. We definitely give you lots of support. So if you do need help there, we will provide that for you. But again, unless you have some good programming experience, I'd recommend that you take the algorithmic trading class first before jumping into machine learning, into the options trading class, because options are just by their very nature are much more complicated than trading stocks. So if you are a strong programmer, by all means, go for it. If you don't have a lot of programming background, I'd recommend that you start with algo trading first. And then Michael says, I'd be mostly interested in crypto, in which case I'd check out your crypto class. Yes, absolutely. You can see that on our website as well, the crypto class. I'll share you the link for that too. This is our crypto trading class. I'm going to share in the chat. Right. Yeah, you can check it out. I had a presentation just like this last week on it. So you can actually find the recording there as well if you want to look for that. I believe it's Should be on our YouTube and a few other spots as well. And you probably would have gotten an email around that. Let's see what else. So Ali Reza, thanks, Robert. Do you have any considered strategy for news, impact, fear factor, etc. in algo? Yeah, we have some algorithms around that, and actually we've just revamped that a little bit, so you get quite a bit of that. I showed you in here a bot that reads Wall Street Bets, Reddit. You can make that read anything else on Reddit. You can also make that read anything on Twitter or news or anything else. So there's you can take that same code and use it in different spots. All right. So good question. Thank you. And then May says, oh, very, very true, was checking if there is a chance to leverage machine learning. Sorry if I'm bothering you guys. You're definitely not bothering me. Don't worry about that. Any discount for folks who already know Python? There's no discount for people that know Python, but we do have sales from time to time. I think this class might still be in early bird right now. We'll jump to that in a second. So you might be able to get a discount off of that. And sometimes when you talk to some people on the phone, when you talk to some of our reps on the phone, they might be able to give you a discount as well. So you should definitely check it out with them. All right. And no problem, guys, Michael and Tim, no problem. Cool. Awesome. So let's talk about the actual class itself, right? So you guys saw a demo. We've talked about this a little bit. Let's talk about this actual class itself, and I will share this link with you. This is for the algorithmic trading class. Okay, so there we go. So here's our algo trading class. Okay, and this class mostly focuses on stocks, although we cover a little bit of crypto in it as well, right? But it's mostly focused on stocks. We talk a little bit about machine learning inside of this, although if you want to get really good with machine learning, we have an entire class just on that, right? Machine learning for trading. Yeah, no problem, Annie. We're still going through it, but yeah. This class here, algorithmic trading, is mostly focused on stocks. We have, again, in here, if you want to go into our other courses, we have a class on machine learning for trading. We have a class on options trading. This is building algorithms for options. We have a class on building algorithms for crypto. So we have a lot of other kind of classes in here as well, if you guys want to check those out. But this one, the algorithmic trading, is mostly focused on stocks. All right. So we have 3 different plans for this, right? We have self-directed, live classes, and project help and tutoring plans. They each build on each other, right? So everything in the self-directed is also in live. Everything in live is also in project help and tutoring. These go up. They have more and more features in succession, right? So a self-directed plan, what it does, it gives you access to all the recordings of these classes, right? So you get to watch these classes. They're not live, they're recorded, right? The live classes are part of the live class package, right? But in the self-directed, you get to watch the videos. You get to get access to all this code in these classes. So you get lots of algorithms right off the bat. You get access to that code, and you also get access to any of the future code that we put in there later on. So as we improve things and make new things, you're going to get access to that too. You also get access to future recordings if that's what you would like, and you get access to our community, which we saw in Discord. There's this Discord community here. But we also have private channels in here, like our discussion hour channel, which is a voice channel where people can speak over voice, kind of like over a telephone, but as a group telephone conversation, and you get to know other people in there as well and things like that. So you get access to our community, you get access to all of our code, and you get access to the video recordings of the lectures, right? That's the self-directed plan. The live classes have all of that plus more, right? Mainly you get to participate in these classes live, right? So a lot of people opt for this. This is probably our most popular plan, although lately our project help and tutoring plan has become more popular. A lot of people are opting for that lately. But our live classes plan, it's really cool. You get to join into classes live, kind of like right now, except it would be over Zoom, and you can like turn on your microphones, ask questions. If you get stuck somewhere, you could share your screen. We can get you unstuck, right? If we're going through some of these lectures, you can ask questions throughout, and we can clarify things so you don't get lost or stuck. And then, of course, because it's live, it's kind of a way of pacing you to make sure that you're actually keeping up with the work which some people find very helpful for classes as well. Right, so live classes, you get access to that. The live class over Zoom, plus the video recordings, plus you get access to our community, and then plus live classes, you can retake them as many times as you want, which means that if something happens, you have to move, you got a new job. A lot of people take our classes and get new jobs. This is what happens when you educate yourself, right? You tend to be more valuable to employers. But so if any of those things happen, you could retake the class as many times as you want until infinity, basically. Right, so a lot of great stuff there with the live classes. And then our premium plan, which is all of these combined. So self-directed plus live, all those things are in there, the community, the code that you get access to. You get to be part of the live classes. But then also in the project help and tutoring plan, you get even more. You get lots and lots of support. We say 10 hours. You probably get even more than 10 hours. We don't really tend to count things with the project help and tutoring plan. And then also you get access to our team of software engineers that can help you build these algorithms for you as well. So we give you 10 hours of software development time with our highly trained professionals. We have a team of people that build algorithms, and they can actually help you build some of these algorithms if you're having some trouble, or if you want to build something really cool. They're able to do some really, really good stuff. So a project help and tutoring plan, you get everything that I've mentioned throughout this entire thing, plus you get an entire team of software engineers helping you build out your projects, which can be very, very valuable. All right. So that's our 3 plans. Here's the cost of those 3 plans, right? And all the details about it. So again, our self-directed plan, it's about $17.58, right? That can be paid over 3 and 5 month payment plans if that's what you want to do. You can pay them over a payment plan. This is basically all the features again listed out. Lifetime access to our videos, lifetime access to our code, right? You get all the code. You get access to our Lumi Wealth community, which is our Discord. You get to get support from the community, and any kind of support, we can help you out there. We've also lately been adding in live calls as well to this. It's not on this list, but if you need help, we can jump on a Zoom call to help you out. And then you also be part of that discussion hour, which takes place weekly, and we're probably going to expand that quite a bit over the next little bit. So that's our self-directed class. We have that live class, which is talking about that middle tier one. It's about $4,000. You have everything from self-directed plus all those extra things here. You could also pay that in 3 or 5 months. And then we have our project help and tutoring plan, which again has everything from self-directed, has everything from live classes. And on top of that, you get access to 10 hours of software development experts, right? So if you need someone to help you write software code, you can get that here with this project help and tutoring plan. All right. Okay, cool. So those are 3 different plans. All of them have payment plans as well. All right. Okay, and then if you guys want, you can read through a couple of these learning outcomes and all that. But for the most part, I want to talk to you about the curriculum. So the curriculum is divided up into 3 parts, right? Part 1 is getting to know the fundamentals, right? So if you don't know how to code, we'll teach you how to do that here. And we'll kind of skip the BS and get right to the points that you need to know. You don't need to be an expert Python developer to do this stuff, but you do need to know the basics. So we'll go over all that stuff with you. We'll help you get basically your system set up. We'll talk about how to use the course materials, all that kind of stuff. We'll do a quick Python refresher, show you exactly like from A to Z, all the main parts of Python. We'll talk about pandas, which is basically how you do data science in Python. It's a very, very popular library within Python that allows you to do some very cool stuff with data. So I'll show you how to use that. Then we'll show you how to apply pandas to the world of finance, which means we're going to download financial data. You got to learn how to manipulate it, how to do statistical analysis, graph it, all that kind of stuff. All right, so that's part 1. That's getting your fundamentals down. Part 2 is really about applying this data science to the world of finance, right? So we'll download stock and economic data. We'll show you how to use that stuff to basically make predictions and figure things out. We'll talk about performance metrics. How do you figure out if your algorithm is doing well or not? And then we'll work a lot on back testing, which, as you saw in that video, is basically simulating your trading in the past to see how an algorithm would have done, right? So you could run your algorithm on past data and you can see if I had run this algorithm over the past 10 years, how much money would I have made or lost, right? So backtesting is very important. And we'll show you exactly how to do that and walk you through a lot of different examples, right? Then part 3, this is where we really jump into like having bots running and trading for you. Although we've actually changed this course around a little bit, and you should have by week 1, part 2, so meaning about 5 weeks in, you should have a bot that's actually placing trades. We work very hard to make sure everyone has it by then, but definitely by part 3, you're going to have a bot trading for you, right? We actually even have a guarantee, by the way, if you want to check it. If you go through this class and you can't build a bot, I've never seen this happen before, to be quite honest with you. Even people that are very computer literate, barely knew how to use folders on their computer, we're even able to get them to build their own algorithms. So, I'm so confident that you guys are going to be able to build your own algorithms that not only will we give you your money back, but I'll give you an extra $600 just for your time if you're not able to get a bot up and running by the end of this class, right? And that's obviously assuming you show up to class and ask for help when you need it, right? So okay, cool. So that's a guarantee. But by part 3, you're definitely going to have a bot running, right? So we're going to be talking about how to link it to brokers. We're going to show you how to link to interactive brokers and Alpaca in this class specifically, right? And we'll basically walk through all that kind of stuff. We actually have a workshop throughout this too, where you'll basically tell me what kind of algorithms you want to build, and we'll build them on the fly. So get an opportunity to build some really cool stuff and see how to build the stuff from scratch. And then you'll see a lot of different demos basically over the last 3 weeks. You'll see demos of a lot of different bots. You can even pick and choose if you're in the live class what bots you want to see, right? And we'll show you a bunch of different things here, like our momentum trading bot or stock screening bot, a rebalancing bot. We'll show you a lot of different examples of different kinds of bots that you can build, right? And then our last week, this is week 4 of part 3, or week 12, we'll show you how to use machine learning to build these trading bots as well, right? So very cool stuff. For those of you that don't know what machine learning is, it's basically artificial intelligence. So you're basically using a bot. You're building a bot using AI to place trades for you, which can be extremely profitable. I've seen people make some really good money doing this stuff. So you'll learn how to do that there. Although this is just an intro, if you really want to dive really deep into the machine learning side of things, we do have an entire class just on machine learning for trading, if that's what you're looking for. All right. Okay, so next class is coming up. Registration ends on the 29th. So in about 2 weeks, we're closing registration for this class. And the course itself starts on October 6th. So coming up very soon. If you guys want to be a part of this, make sure you book a call with us and get started. All right. The course itself is 12 weeks long. I walk you through each one of those weeks there in the curriculum. We exclude, obviously, holiday breaks. So I think this falls around Thanksgiving time. So we're going to obviously take that time off, right? But 12 weeks around that. Then we're also going to be doing, we recommend about 8 to 12 hours per week self-paced learning, although some people learn faster or shorter. So that's a pretty loose requirement. This class is every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific, right? So every Thursday night, right? And each lecture is about 2 hours long, give or take. Sometimes it's a little longer, sometimes a little shorter, depending on the topic matter, but usually about 2 hours per week of actual lecture time. Right, and Winston, you want to get that course on machine learning. It's right up here. All right, let me get that for you. So here's a link to the machine learning course. All right, and Kingsley asks, does the bot tell us which stock to buy, or do we have to figure it out ourselves? No, that's like the whole point of the algorithm, right? The algorithms are the ones that are actually placing these trades for you, buying and selling for you. So the algorithms are the ones that actually come up with what stocks to buy and sell. And then your job is to basically, either run these algorithms as is. You can take the ones that we have, or you can modify them and get them to execute for you, right? But yeah, the bots are the ones that are picking the stocks, so you wouldn't be the one picking them. All right, so next class starts on October 6th. If you want to go ahead and buy the course, the way that you do it is you'd select the course here, right? That would add it to your cart, and you basically go through this process here like this to check out, right? Proceed to checkout, and that's how the whole purchase is done, right? And here you have your 3 and 5 month payment plans in here, right? If you want to use those, right? 3 month or 5 month payment plans, or you can pay in full, right? It's up to you. Okay, so going back, no problem, Winston and Kinsley. Okay, cool. So that's the class starting in October. It's coming up very soon. So if you do want to be part of that class, make sure that you join soon so that you get your spot reserved. So we also don't like having these classes too big. So make sure that you actually get a part of that seat. In this class, we also cover 2 different projects. The first project is analyzing investment strategies. We'll be talking a lot about back testing and how to actually come up with a good strategy, right? We'll be talking about the different types of strategies and how you can use them to your advantage. And then project 2 is actually building a live trading bot that's going to be buying and selling for you throughout. And both these projects are covered within the class, and you'll get a lot of feedback on them. You'll be able to present in front of the class and all that kind of stuff to get some good feedback. All right, if you want to learn a little bit about myself, you can also read a little bit about me here, or you could search LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well. I have a pretty unique last name, so you'll probably be able to find me pretty easily. But there's a little bit more about myself here if you want to know. And then at the bottom, we have our testimonials with some of our past students. These guys have been building some really cool stuff. Agim, for example, was one of our earlier students. He is now making some pretty good money giving trading tips to people. He, last time I checked, has a website that's making him a couple $1,000s a month now, pretty much automated. He basically uses some of his stuff that he built and gives trading alerts out to people. And makes good money doing that. So very proud of him. He's done some really cool stuff. Renee took a class a while back as well. Also built some pretty cool algorithms, although I haven't kept in as much touch with him, but you could watch the video and see his experience. And then we have Santayan, and this guy's built some really cool stuff. He's on our Discord pretty often. Last time I heard, he made a trading algorithm that's making him like 400 or 500% a year. That's that thing like following influencers. Really, really cool. So definitely we have some pretty successful students that came out of our classes. You also read more about some people here. Joel, for example, is taking a lot of our classes as well. All right. And then if you want to see more testimonials, you could also go to our testimonials page, right, which is under more testimonials, and you can watch more of these things that, you can, don't take my word for it, see what they thought. We work really, really hard to have happy and successful students. And I hope you see that from these videos. But again, don't listen to me. You can listen to these guys that have actually taken the course and can tell you all about it. All right. So there we go. Cool. And that's pretty much it for our class for today. So tell me if you guys have any last questions. All right, so you guys have been pretty good asking questions throughout, but I'll leave this time open a little bit for you guys to ask a few more questions if you have anything else that's burning on your mind. All right, so I'll give you guys a little bit of time to type that out. All right, so no one seems to be typing anything here. Copy the slides. Yes, here, let me give you a copy. There you go, Winston. I just put that into the chat. All right. Any other questions? So actually, if you guys do have some more questions, you guys can also contact me on Discord. So I'll give you that Discord link again. You can find me on there and you can message me there. I'm usually very active on Discord, so I'll get back to you pretty quickly. Or someone else will get back to you, someone part of our community or one of our employees. You could also email me, rob@lumiwealth.com, if you have some questions as well. So, you know, if you come up with some questions later on, make sure you save those links there so you can go ahead and ask me in the future. All right. But it seems like there aren't any more questions. Again, if you have those questions, shoot me an email or catch me on Discord. Either way, I'd be happy to help and answer any questions that you guys have. I love this stuff, as you can tell. I've been doing this pretty much my entire life is dedicated to this for the past couple of years, and absolutely love it. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. This is definitely really cool stuff. All right, cool. So without further ado, I'm going to say good night to you guys. Thank you very much for attending. It's been a pleasure. You guys seem like a great audience. You guys had some very good questions throughout, and I really enjoyed this interaction with you guys. Hopefully, I see you guys in this class. If not this class, that's starting in October. Then hopefully in some of our other classes as well. I teach the algorithmic trading and the crypto trading class. So if you take either one of those, it's with me. And the other classes are taught by other very highly qualified people as well. We have some, they do the same type of thing as this. So, you know, on a regular basis, so you can actually see them live as well if you want to go through that. And there's actually one more question here. So Michael, question is, any course bundles out of curiosity? Yes. If you go through the course or through the website, if you actually put 2 courses inside of your cart at a time, you get 10% off automatically, right? So the website will do that. If you want to buy more than that at a time, then I suggest you book a call, right? Here's a link to book a call with our team, right? And they could actually set you up with some discounts on larger course bundles. We've had people that have bought like 4 or 5 courses at a time, and we definitely give like really big discounts for that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you book a call and talk to someone on the phone, and they can figure that out for you. All right. All right. Here's like that link to book a call. Cool. All right. Well, again, thank you guys very much. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys have a good night, and hope to see you in one of our classes coming up soon. All right. Good night, guys. Cheers. Thank you, Michael. Thanks, guys.